Good morning and welcome to Coffee Walk. Here we have our 1966 330 GT Ferrari that we found a couple of months ago. Great backstory on this car. This car has only had 2 owners from new, which is very unusual on a 12-cylinder Ferrari. Luigi Canetti out of Canetti Motors special ordered it new, sold to its original owner's last name was Snow, and we bought it from the second owner. The second owner bought this car in 1973 and drove it sparingly until 1978. Fortunately, he was an engineer, knew what he had, he put this car up properly. Not only did he put it up on jack stands, he backed off the valves of the motors and pickled the motor, which means he put some fluids in it so it wouldn't get stuck. He also, in his garage, it was a climate controlled garage with a dehumidifier. So this car has no flash rust, no oxidation, nothing. Now, since this car had sat since 1978, we took great care to take care of this motor. My lead tech, Eric Williams, rolled it over by hand for a couple of days. It was never stuck. Removed the carburetors, rebuilt all the carburetors, removed the valve covers, reset all the valves, cleaned the fuel system, put a battery in it, and it lit right up. That was an exciting day. Now we couldn't drive it from there. There's some other issues we had to overcome. We sent the brake calipers off to Goldline, who specializes in these type of brakes in California. The owner of Goldline called me to confirm that these calipers had never been rebuilt, which we didn't think they had. So the calipers are professionally rebuilt. We put those on. The tires on this car were date coded 1973. I didn't think it was a great idea to drive on those, and they were dry rotted. So we sent the wheels to Star, had Star restore the wheels, including the chrome centerpiece. So the wheels are finished to correct color and factory specifications, put new tires on it. And then we also bought a brand new hydraulic slave cylinder. So how rare is a 66 330 GT? Well, let's look at the whole series, Series 1 and Series 2 cars. From 64 to 68, that's a 5-year span. They made about 1,100 cars. I'm gonna use approximate numbers. In 1966, the Series 2 left-hand drive cars, they made about 150 of them. Now, is that rare? Absolutely, that's very rare. That's 150 cars for the world market. But here's what's happened to a lot of these cars. The attrition rate is very high. A lot of these cars have been rebodied or reconfigured into a 250 series car or Super America, because this chassis and this motor and transmission share that same drivetrain with many of those other models that are now multi-million-dollar cars. And a lot of these cars have simply been parted out to use the chassis for, let's say, for recreation-wise for some of the more expensive Ferraris. The first one that comes to mind is California Spider. So if you're building one of these Cal Spiders, it's a perfect recreation. You can use most of the suspension pieces out of this. You can use a chassis with a couple of modifications. It's the right motor, the right gearbox, the right gauges. So for many years, these 330 GTs were worth more in parts than they were as a car. Now this car will perform as well as those multi-million-dollar cars. Now how many exist that only have 2 owners that are original and unrestored? This is a total numbers matching car. We have checked on the numbers. It's gotta be very few. It's a 30,000 mile car that in my opinion should be left alone, should not be restored, should be appreciated for what it is worthy of being in a private collection. And or it's also in the condition wise where it can be driven. But I want to show you how nice this car cleaned up. The interior in this car is totally original. The leather's not hard, it's still supple. It's not cracked, it's not torn. The car's only traveled 30,757 miles. Now what else is also really nice about this car is I love the Campagnolo alloy wheels versus the wire wheels. Some people like the look of the wire wheels. I don't. I like the look of these wheels better. But you're also not having to constantly tune the wheels and balance them and things like that. I think the car is just a more handsome, masculine look with these wheels. This car also has some nice options. It's power windows. This car also has power steering and air conditioning. So being as though this is a later model car, if you'll look in the front, as in it's a Series 2 versus a Series 1, the Series 2 cars have a single headlight, which I think looks much better than the Series 1 cars, which are 4 headlight. But some other major improvements on these cars is they went from a 4-speed to a 5-speed. I mean, when you're running a 4-liter Colombo 12-cylinder Ferrari motor, you want all the gear you can get for top speed. And also, if you'll look inside, the Series 2 car is a wood dash. Now this dash is just absolutely in phenomenal condition. Again, this interior is totally original. We did not redo the wood. We did not redo the steering wheel. We didn't redo any of it. The fuel fill on the Series 2 cars was changed to the driver's side from the passenger side. Inside the trunk compartment, this is totally original. None of this carpet's been redone. When we lifted this lid up to look at the spare, I am pretty confident this had never been messed with and never been moved. Here's the original tool roll. Look at that, still attached in the car. This is such an honest car. I'm so excited to find this. This is truly what you would call a survivor car. In my opinion, this car should just be enjoyed now. Again, one of my best parts of the job is not only finding and getting these cars, it was getting them back into circulation. Now we've got this car running and driving and kicking, the next owners can decide what they're going to do with it. But look at this tool roll kit. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Condition-wise, completeness, a lot of times these cars are missing them. There's all your spares. Then look in this trunk compartment. There's the original spare. I want you to look at the condition of the body on this car. The lines are phenomenal. We did not do any paint work on this car. There's literally not even a PDR ding, a paint ding, dent, or anything on this car. It's got a few scratches here and there, minor stuff. It still has its 1977 inspection sticker and 1978 license plates. So how often do you find a 4-liter V12 Ferrari with 30,000 miles on it that's only had 2 owners? Pretty rare. Now I'm going to get the pleasure to drive this thing. Come ride with me. Let's go check out a 12-cylinder Ferrari. Anytime you can drive a front-engine 12-cylinder Ferrari, it's a good day. Wow, it just starts right up. Unbelievable. Great oil pressure. Tach smooth, engine sounds smooth. Alternator's charging, clutch feels good. We know the brakes are good. Thanks Goldline for doing the brakes. I have never driven this car. It's honestly the first time I've driven it. The steering wheel's just like new. It looks perfect. The dash and gauges are all crisp. There's no fading, no warping. Motor feels good, sounds good. Car feels good. I mean, it's running 90 pounds of oil pressure. All the gauges are working, speedo's working. Alternator's charging, fuel gauge is working. The only thing not clicking right now is the clock, which can be expected. Wow, that was really something. So thank you guys for watching. I'm back from the test drive. Car performed really, really well. Transmission's nice, clutch is good, brakes good, suspension's still good, it handles well. Please go to the YouTube channel, see the whole thing. Please like, share, and follow. More good stuff to come. Go fast and have fun.